All right. This training workshop is being provided for the California Department of Consumer Affairs for the board and bureaus as part of the Business Modernization Cohort 2 implementation project by Lumon. This workshop is specifically for the Structural Pest Control Board and will address the following function of the new licensing system, new BR and PR business application entry through submission. In today's workshop, we're going to begin a new business registration application, complete it online, pay it online for the application with a credit card, and submit the application. We will then review the emails and the text messages that we receive upon submission. Let me get myself set up over here on my back end, and I will share my screen again. Okay, once again, we're going to go to connect-test.pestboard.california.gov. And it'll take us back to our login page. For this training, I'm going to use the same login information that we created in the registration and login training. My username for that, my email was melina.roslich+22 dca.ca.gov. Select login. Now we're back to our dashboard. So our dashboard is where we're going to find our license information once we have that and once our applications have been approved. It'll show up in this section up here. Anytime that we submit applications of any type, we would go into this dashboard, log in, and we would come down to this applications page pane, and we would select new applications. You'll see a little bit later on, once we start applications, submit them, or anything related to applications such as deficiencies, that information would pop up over here, and it would give us an at-a-glance view of what's going on with that application. So we'll click New Application. Seems to be going a little bit slow today, but we'll give it some time. There we go. And now it'll ask us to select an application. So we'll select the little caret drop-down menu. And as you see, we have a lot of options. We have examination application, re-examination applications, license applications, business registration applications, military spouse and partner temporary licenses. So for our purposes today, we're doing a business registration. And then if you noticed, once we selected business registration, we have a license type drop-down that shows up for us. So here we would select the type of a license type that we would like to apply for today. So we're going to register for a company, but during this training, I'll also show you what the branch office registration application looks like as well. And then we're going to complete the registration of a company, a PR application. So let's do branch office registration. So I can just go over and show you what that looks like. And then once we've selected the license type, we can create the application. All right, so this is what an application for a branch office registration looks like. It has a few less tabs on the left-hand side compared to the PR application. But since branch offices are usually linked to PRs, it makes sense that it would have a little bit less information. So first, we see that we have an instruction and disclosures page, and we urge our applicants to read all of this information so that they know that what's required of them to be approved. We have a company information tab, and this is where they would enter information such as the PR that they're being linked to, name of the company, phone numbers, names of supervisors, and they would also have to give us branch office addresses, mailing addresses, principal office addresses, and answer a handful of questions so that we can verify their information and get their branch office linked to their primary registration company. And then the last page on here would be an attestation. So this is where we would add our signature. So we would certify under penalty of perjury under the laws of state of California that everything they put into this application is accurate and true. And then they would sign it, add their title and signature and the date. And then after that, after they save and continue, they would be asked to give payment so that their application could be processed. This here we have a blue button, back to dashboard. So if we click that, it'll take us back to our user dashboard. And if you notice here, because we've jumped out of that application and we didn't add anything into it, it's still saved. So we have the option of going back and finishing this application at some time and submitting it. We've already been assigned an application number, which the system automatically does when we open an application. And it tells us what the application type is, what the license type is, and it also gives us a status. So right now this application is in progress, but not submitted. We also have two icons over here under the actions header. If we press this one, we can click to continue the application and it'll take us right to the part where we've left off on. And if we've accidentally opened this application, we can click the delete button, and I'll demonstrate that now. And then the browser gives us a little fail-safe and it asks, are you sure you want to delete this application? Maybe sometimes we will click this by accident, so it's nice to have another question here asking us if we really meant to do that. So yeah, we're going to delete this application. Okay, there we go. So let's go in and open our PR application. Again, we'll select business registry.
Alina?
Yes?
Can I ask you to do one thing? Can you go back into a BR application and just show everybody how you use the search tool to look for the PR? Just because it populates it, that way everybody knows how to help the consumer, the industry, should they need help with that part.
Sure. Do you maybe have a PR test number for me that I could link it to?
Oh.
I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Janaki, if you're on the line, if you have a PR test number for me, we could totally do that.
9308.
Yes. PR9.
Sorry, Tom. Do you have one, or like I do have one?
I just had some new licenses that were issued this morning. So we have PR9333, and then we have, which is a current PR, and then I have a couple PRs that are associated with it. And Melina, I just sent you a text message with office supervisors that are in our test environment for CAS that you can use down for your branch supervisor and branch supervisor's license number. So those are in a private chat to you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, yeah. So let's go through. let's do the branch office registration first, and then I'll show you the PR later on. We'll fill this out together. All right, so for the PR number, let's do 9333, and then let's select search and see what happens. So here we have a little notification that our license record has been found. And if you noticed over here, because the license record was found, the name of the company and the doing business as name has auto-populated. For the rest of the information, we can add in the principal office phone number. So we can do 916. We would add the name of our branch supervisor. So I can act as the branch supervisor today. And then branch supervisor's license number. Let me see. So
Elizabeth, did you have a question?
I think it just answered it. I was wondering if it was going to require a letter, the letters before. Sounds like, it looks like it will.
It does. We'll need to do FR space and the license number.
Thank you so much. We'll put in the branch supervisor here. It's Kenneth Sean Zuneki. For the email, we'll put another test email for simplicity's sake. Branch office phone number. For a branch office address, we 300. You notice over here, the country, we can't make that change. It has to be in the United States. It has to be within the state of California, but it does ask us what city are we in, and this will be Rancho Cordova. Zip code, we have 95742. For our branch office mailing address, we will do the same. But down here, it does let us select the country, so we'll United States. So Cordova 95742. Note that if the addresses are invalid, the system will let you know that it's not a valid address and that they would like you to enter a valid California address. Office. We'll make up some information. We'll put 2278 Sandcastle Way. And once again, the principal office has to be in the United States and within California. We can't make changes to that information. We'll be in Sacramento. 33. Then our next two questions are, is the office located in a commercial building or residence? We're going to say it's in a commercial building. And then it asks, is the office clearly marked or to be marked by a sign designating the business therein? And yes, we have a sign outside that says that we are there. And then we're going to select our save and continue button. But I do want to demonstrate what happens if we select save and exit. It's going to ask us, are you sure that you want to exit the application? We'll select yes. Back to our dashboard. And that branch office registration application is down here in our applications pane where we can resume it at any time. So let's resume it. It'll always open up to the place where you've left off. So we left off in company registration. Save and continue since we finished this page. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed before, but while we were filling out this information, this tab, the company information tab had a black X on it. But since we've successfully put in all our required fields and selected save and continue, it's registered that page as complete, and now it's been checked off with the green check mark. And now we're here on our attestation page. So the information on this application is required. All information requested in this application is mandatory and none is voluntary. Failure to provide any of the requested information will result in the application being rejected and incomplete. So here it says that the sole owner must sign this application personally. A partnership application must be signed by each partner. A corporate application must be signed by all officers of a corporation and shareholders with 10% or more ownership in a corporation, and each qualifying manager must also sign the application. So we'll add new, and we'll certify under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California to the truth and the accuracy of all statements and representations made in this application, including all statements attached hereto. I understand that falsifying information on this application may result in the denial of this application, and I certify that I've read and understand the notice of collection of personal information. So here I will sign as and Simon will be, let's see, will be the owner. Notice that the date field has auto-populated for us based on the date that this application is being filled out. We're going to save this. We'll also add a qualifying manager. So here we'll put there. And once again, our date is pre-populated. We've selected save, and now we're just waiting for that information to populate below. So here below, you can see that both Simon Lacat and Melina's information has been saved in the application, and then we can select save and continue. So you select save and continue, the fee and payment screen pops up for us. So our fee amount for a branch office registration is $60. We do charge a 2.3% service fee, which ends up being $1.38. So in total, we're charging $61.38 for a branch office registration application. If you notice over here, we have an option to select this button that will copy the details from the application into this payment screen, so we don't have to duplicate the effort. And notice that all the information popped in as we entered it in the previous screens. So we'll enter some credit card information. We'll enter our CVV. Make sure that all of our information is here and accurate, and then we'll select pay and submit. We're now being taken back to our dashboard, where things have slightly changed in the applications pane. So now it shows under the status that our application has been submitted to the back end of Connect, where you guys would work it, and that information will go over tomorrow in another training. And now we have a submitted date of 5/21/2024. So next, let's go over a principal registration. We'll select new application. In the application dropdown, we'll select business registration. For license type, we'll select registration of company, and then we'll create our application. So here, if you notice, we have a few more tabs than we did in the previous application, because we need to collect more information on this company to approve it. First, we have our instruction and disclosures page, and the first thing that it says is the request for approval of a registered company must be approved prior to the completion of the application for company registration. Once the name style has been approved by the board, you'll need to complete the online application for company registration, pay the required registration fee, and upload the required insurance, bond, workers' compensation documents. So fingers crossed that our applicants are reading all of this information, and once they do, they'll select save and continue. So prior to getting into this, I believe that we've received an email from Connect telling us that Sam and the Cat, thank you for using the Structural Pest Control Board online services. Your application has been submitted and is currently under review. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for the processing of a company and or branch registration. So we give them the application date, their application number, the application type, and we let them know that they'll receive an email update once the application has been reviewed and processed. And then we prompt them to use their dashboard to check the status or request support, or to reach out to the board directly if they have any questions or concerns. When we rendered payment, we also got a payment confirmation via email with the application number, the payment type, the date, the time of the payment, our receipt number, and the amount of money that we submitted to the board. All right, so back to our application for registration of company. With all applications, the title of the application will show here at the top. And in the company information tab, we're going to be asked to select the branch type. So we can select all the branches in which we're applying for registration. For our purposes, let's do all 3. We're going to be branch 1, branch 2, and branch 3. And we ask, the request for approval of registration company must be approved prior to the completion of this application for company registration. Have you completed the request for approval of registered company? If yes, upload the name approval letter. So we're going to say that yes, we have. And then if you notice, once we select yes, a whole new area shows up for us on the screen that allows us to look for that document and upload it into our application. So let's do that. We're going to select Browse New Files. I'm going to find my test document that will serve as the approval letter. And if you've noticed here, once I selected that file from my computer, it uploaded itself into the section below, and it named itself as the approval of registered company. We also have the option of selecting the drop-down caret and labeling it as other if it's not an approval letter, if it's something else to prove that they've gone through this process. The file name will show up as the file name that it's named on your computer. So prior to uploading it, if you want to rename that, you can do that. And then it also gives us an option to delete the file in case that we've made a mistake and selected the wrong file. while we were browsing. So we scroll down, it'll ask us for firm details. So we want to know what's the firm name by which registration is to be issued. And we're going to be for pest control, doing business as for pest control. Email address, we will have it as we will do 916-555-5555. And then asks us for the address of the principal place of the business. Then 3300 circle. Again, we cannot make any changes to the country or the state, but we will enter our city as Rancho Cordova. B95742. Our mailing address will be the same. But here we do have the option of selecting a different country and a different state if applicable. Sacramento. And, oh, excuse me, we're in Rancho Cordova. I have a few more questions. So it asks us, are we doing business as a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation? We're going to select sole proprietorship. And if we do that, it'll ask us for a social security number or ITIN. If we select partnership, it'll ask us for a federal employee ID number. And if we select corporation, it'll also ask us for a federal employee ID number. So we'll do this as a sole proprietorship, and we'll enter a social security number. Next question asks us if the principal office is located in a commercial building or in a residence, and it's located in a commercial building. Is the principal office clearly marked or to be marked by a sign designating the business? Yes, we're going to mark it ourselves. Are there shareholders of this company with 10% ownership or more? If yes, we will list the shareholders below and the percentage of ownership that they hold. And please note, pursuant to Business and Professions Code 144 and 144.5, all unlicensed applicants must submit to LiveScan for the purpose of conducting a criminal history check. So we're going to say that there are shareholders here. So now we're required to give the full name, title, and address of individual owners, qualifying managers, partners, all officers of corporation, and shareholders with a percentage of ownership. If you hold multiple titles within the company, please complete a separate entry for each title. So for example, if you're the owner and the qualifying manager, you will have two entries, one as the owner and one as the qualifying manager. So let's do that here. So first we'll do the owner. So are you the qualifying manager? No. And do you currently hold an active structural pest control license? We'll say no. The first name will be Simon McCut. We don't have a license number since we're not active at the moment. Our position or title is owner. And let's say we have 50% of the company. Add in our email. And then we'll enter our residential address. So we'll enter that in as 2278 Sandcastle Way. And we live in the United States. California. Toronto. Ask, have you submitted fingerprints through live scan to SPCB? So at this moment, we'll select no. And we get a message when we do that to please complete the live scan process as soon as possible to avoid processing delays. And then we provide them with a link to more information on live scan. If we select yes, it'll ask us to input an ATI number located at the bottom of the request for live scan service form and to mail the original request for live scan service form to SPCB. Save. So now the owner's information is populated into the screen below. We have their name, their title, their shareholder percentage, and for the actions, we have the ability to edit this information in case there's something we'd like to add or change. And we also have the ability to delete this information. Let's add a qualifying manager. Are you a qualifying manager? Yes, I am. You currently hold an active structural pest control license. We're going to select yes. And let me tap into that test data to grab a license number.
We have a question in the chat. If Janaki or that one.
Sorry, Arthur, you sound really far away.
We have a question in the chat. If Janaki or Tom could respond to that one.
So the question is the question about holding an active license going to be confusing for qualifying managers that are entering their owner entry?
Sorry, I did not get that question. So if someone is a qualifying manager, they will be having an active license. And also someone who is like an owner might not be a qualifying manager, because a qualifying manager needs to be should have an operator license, but they might have an applicator or a field representative, which is an active license. If they have that information, they can just select yes for the second question.
Okay, so if they're the qualifying manager and they're qualifying for the PR, the business, they can still select yes and put that in there, put in their license number, and then also do another entry as the qualifying manager, and it's not going to mess anything up with that. Does that make sense?
So let's say like if a person say like tester one is going to be the person who is filling this, and they're going to be the owner of this PR application. And the same person is going to be a qualifying manager also. Then first thing what they have to do is like first entry will be they are the owner. So for that entry, they should select, are you a qualifying manager? No, because they're going to give an entry as a owner. So first question, are you a qualifying manager? It should be no. Do you currently hold an active license? Yes, they might be holding an active license like a FR or an applicator or sometimes even operator license. So if they're holding an active license, they can select yes for that question. So when they select yes for that question, then you will see that license number becomes a required field. So they have to give the license number, their active license number. And then they have to enter in the title of the position, they will be entering they will have the list of options to select. They can select owner, partners, like president, whatever is applicable, they can select that. They can input the shareholder percentage also. Suppose the same person is going to be the qualifying manager, then they have to enter the second entry. That will be like, are you a qualifying manager? Then they have to select yes for the question. They cannot put that both entries into the same thing. They cannot select qualifying manager and I'm an owner. They cannot do that, because once you select, are you a qualifying manager with an S option, the title, you cannot change that from qualifying manager. You cannot update that. It automatically becomes a qualifying manager.
I guess my question, I understand that they have to do two different things. If it's a, like if they have to put in their owner, if they're a qualifying manager and an owner of a company, and they have to put in their owner first, and then also they're the qualifying manager too. I understand there's two different entries, but is that going to be confusing is my question to somebody who does hold an active license as a qualifying manager, and they go to that number 2 question. If they hit yes, because they do have a license, I'm just wondering if they're going to be confused on that. Like if they go, well, I'm entering my owner information right now, but if they hit yes that they have a license with us, will they be able to just put their license number but still be able to put their title and position as owner, and then do a second entry as with their license and as a qualifying manager? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, they have to put the second entry. Yes, they have to do that, because in the back office, that the reason why we have this is like for the staff, right? So suppose if a person becomes if they're not an active qualifying manager, so you will disassociate them from this PR application, right? So from this company, you will have to disassociate them. So when someone is having both as a partner or as an owner and the qualifying manager, if you disassociate them from a qualifying manager, it disassociates them from the ownership also. So that is the reason why we are having two entries, but this is only for the staff information. But you don't have to say those things when you're saying to an applicant. Just you can ask them to just enter like two separate information. That's it.
Okay, I'll chat more about it later. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So Melina, second. So if you select no for the qualifying manager question, right? And then you will, in the title option, when you select that, you will not see a qualifying manager in this list. So by that, at least like that is the one thing what we have provided, so that it won't be confusing for an person who is a owner as well as who is a qualifying manager. They will not see that qualifying manager in the list of options.
That's a great fail-safe. Thank you, Janaki. And thank you, Derek, for your question. Back to it and change it to qualifying manager. And then as you see, now that I've selected qualifying manager here, I can't make that change or select anything else, or even put in a shareholder percentage. In our residence address here as well. Do actually North Market Boulevard. Save this entry. Put in a shareholder as well. So we'll add new again. Are you a qualifying manager? No. Do you currently hold an active structural pest control license? We're going to say no. So first name we'll put Ranger. Our title is shareholder, and they have the other 50% of the company. 1747 North Market Boulevard. Have you submitted fingerprints through LifeScan to SPCB? We're going to select no, and we're going to save. Made a mistake. There's a space between before the last name, and so the system will not let us move on if we don't meet the required format. That. Select save. So now we have our owner, our qualifying manager, and our shareholder listed, and we can save and continue. We've moved on to the general information questions. Notice that the company information tab has a green check mark on it now, which means that we've successfully and completely finished it. Our first general information question is give the name and address of individuals and businesses with whom you or any of you have been associated with in the pest control business as partners or business associates in the last 5 years. So we'll add new, individual or business. So we'll give their full name. We can say Jack Stone. Jack Stone's address could be here. Are you or any of you at the present time employed or engaged in the structural pest control business? We're going to say no, but if we selected yes, a new drop down would come down and we would add new and add in by whom we are currently employed with or engaged in with when it comes to structural pest control. And it would have a select as what capacity. So we would indicate if we're a trainee, an employee, a qualified manager, or something else. This section, we'll press save and continue. Oh, it says please add to table 2. Oh, I didn't press no. All right, so now we'll save and continue. And if you just saw it happen in real time, the general information questions tab turned into a green check mark. Now it's time for the disciplinary and conviction questions. Have you or any of you ever had a professional or vocational license refused, denied, suspended, or revoked by this or any other state agency? If yes, upload a signed detailed statement. So if we select yes, the browse files section pops up for us where we can select the detailed statement and upload it to the record. For our purposes, we're going to select no. And if we select no, that portion doesn't come up for us because it's not needed. Have you or any of you ever been associated with any person, partnership, or corporation whose professional or vocational license was refused, denied, suspended, or revoked by this or any other state agency? If yes, upload a detailed statement. We're going to select no. But again, if we select yes, that window would pop up for us to upload our detailed statement. Question 3, do you or any of you have any pending disciplinary actions against you or any of you by the state agency in regards to any professional or vocational license? We're also going to select no. Will any individual not listed above as an officer or partner be associated in any capacity with you who has had a pest control license revoked or suspended or application refused by this or any other state? I'm going to select no. And have you or any of you ever been found guilty of any violation or any provision of the Structural Pest Control Act? If yes, upload a detailed statement. So we're going to say no, but once again, if we select yes to any of these questions, we're going to be required to upload a signed detailed statement. And then we're going to select save and continue. So now we're moved on to the military questions section. Are you or any of you currently in the United States military? We're going to say yes. And once again, our Browse New Files section pops up. So we're going to upload proof of that. So whether that's a military ID, military orders, in the type menu, we can select what it is. So it could either be military orders, military ID, or any other type of documentation that proves that we're currently in the United States military. In the case that we've accidentally uploaded the wrong document while we were searching through our files, we could always press the delete button under the actions header and it would disappear and we can find the correct document and upload that there. For question 2, have you or any of you ever served in the United States military? So we'll select yes. And once again, it'll have us upload proof of that. And for this document type, we have the option of providing a DD-214, so a certificate of release of discharge from active duty, a military ID, or some other form of documentation as proof. Question 3, are you or any of you or someone that you or any of you are either married in a legal union or domestic partnership with an active duty member of the Armed Forces of the United States who is assigned to a duty station in California under official active duty military orders? If yes, multiple documents can be uploaded. We're going to say no since we are the one in the military, and we'll select save and continue. So we've successfully finished that section. It's green, and it's moved us on to document upload. The instructions state, document upload instructions. All financial responsibility documents submitted must reflect the full company name approved by SPCB. All financial responsibility documents submitted must reflect an address used on the application for company registration. All qualified managers must sign the company registration bond. All required forms are available for download at pestboard.ca.gov. So this is where we upload all of our bond and insurance and other certification documentation. I'm going to be using my test document that definitely is not a bond document or anything like that, but we're just trying to meet the requirement. So here under type, we also have the ability to change the document type. So we can indicate if it's a company registration bond, a bond writer, or something else. And once again, we have the ability to delete this document in case it's the wrong one that we've selected. Once we've put that in, we'll click here to upload. If you notice, that document populates down here where we have an option to view it, download it, or download it. And that will either go into our downloads here in the browser, or you can find it in your File Explorer in your downloads section. So this would be it right here. Next question, please upload the certificate of insurance document. Click here to download the certificate of insurance document. So we'll browse file, find our test document, open it up, and we can either select other or certificate of insurance. Click here to upload. And as you see, the process to upload documents, to view them, download them, and delete them is the same throughout this whole page, and for the most part throughout the whole system. Next, we're going to upload the workers' compensation document. We'll click here to upload. That's part of our application. And number 4, please upload the fictitious name filing statement from the county records office. upload. We have that shown here below as well. So we've completed all 4 uploads. We'll save and continue.
Melina, I just want to also mention the fact that because she selected a sole owner, it only required those documents. However, if she would have chosen corporation, it also would have required the upload of a Secretary of State's document.
Thank you, Melissa. So now we're down to our attestation page. So this is where the sole owner must sign the application personally. The partnership application must be signed by each partner. A corporate application must be signed by all officers of a corporate and shareholders with 10% or more ownership in the corporation. And each qualifying manager must also sign the application. So let's select Add New. And we'll certify under penalty of perjury that all this information is correct. So we'll start off with the owner. We'll add their information and add their signature. Our date is pre-populated, and we'll select Save. The qualifying manager, who was me. And our date, once again, is pre-populated. And then we also had a partner. Let me remind myself of their name really fast. Okay. And we also have Ranger Danger. So if you noticed, I just toggled between the tabs, but the information that I had already entered into the attestation tab didn't go away just because I went back to look at additional information. So I think that's really neat. Let's our other shareholder. We have all 3 people in the application listed, and they've signed, given their titles, and we can select Save and Continue. Now it pops us over to our fee and payment page. The fee for a company registration is $120. Our 2.3% service fee is $2.76, making our total $122.76. So just like the branch office location application, we can select copy details from application, and information should populate. There we go. So everything we've entered in the registration pops up over here, and then we can enter our credit card information. CVV and our expiration date. Once we have all of our information filled out, we can select Pay and Submit. Now it takes us back to our dashboard, where we can see that our application for company registration for principal registration has been submitted, and the system has given us an application number automatically, and it indicates the date that this application was submitted on. Just look at my training materials really fast to make sure that I haven't missed anything. Okay, so that concludes our training for the application for company registration, principal registration application. And to summarize, in this training workshop, you learned how to start a new SPCB application, what the layout is for new online applications for business registrations, how document uploads are performed in the business registration application, how multiple items are added, changed, or deleted through the SPCB business registration application, what happens to them when an applicant successfully completes a section, what must happen before you can navigate to the fee and payment section, where and when do you see the status of an application on the dashboard, and where and when do you manage deficiencies from the dashboard. So are there any questions today on what we just saw? I know we're pushing up right against our next meeting time. So if there are no questions, I'll let you all have a really short little break, get some water, use the restroom, and then I'll see you all back here at 11. All right, thank you guys. See you in a minute.
Thank you. Well done. Thanks.
Thank you.